Hi there folks, and welcome to another episode of Michael's Backyard Marina. Well, as you've watched a recent video of mine, if you're following me in the series of everything I do and the order I do it in, not too long ago you witnessed me putting O2 sensors in this old Jeep Grand Cherokee and got it brought back around to where she's now getting better than 6.5 miles to the gallon again, upwards around 19 and 20, and I need to do some more stuff to it. I pulled the dipstick on the transmission fluid and it was starting to get just not quite as red as it was. Now, I've owned this vehicle for about 3 years now, maybe 3.5, something like that. And ever since I got it, it has 185,000 miles when I purchased it, and now it has 211,000 miles on it. And the entire time I've had this thing, 85 to 95%, I'm gonna lean up to 90. Let's just say 90% of the time, this vehicle has been pulling a trailer of some sort, whether it's a boat trailer with boats on it, or a utility trailer, or my small car haul trailer. It's always pulling something. That's what I use it for. That's why I call it donkey, because it's always hauling stuff for me. And I think I need to do a little work on it now. Transmission, we're gonna go ahead and change the transmission fluid. We're gonna change the engine oil. We're gonna put new spark plugs in it. We're gonna get that done here. And then, if you stay to the end of the video, a special treat, bonus footage on what I did to make something on this Jeep just look a little bit better than it did when I started. And I want to show you the secrets of doing that and doing it well. Let's jump in and get busy getting after that transmission fluid. Thank you, and don't forget to hit that thumbs up if you like what you see, and don't forget to subscribe. Let's get on with the video. All right, we're gonna do a little recording with my iPhone, so I apologize if the sound isn't quite up to my normal standards. But now that I got the pan out of the way, and what it does, you loosen all the bolts up as you go around, and I ain't kidding you folks, these bolts, for most of them, were just finger tight. And that ain't right, but that's what it was. And I'll show you why when we go into the shop. But to get this filter out and put the new filter in, it's two T25 Torx screws in here. Yep, T25. That's the same Torx bit that you got for putting your deck together with all your deck screws is a T25. So that's what the engineers decided would be the best thing to hold this filter on with. There's one. They're pretty long. Yep, that's pretty long. I'm gonna set that aside and go after the second one. Trying to not get this dripping all over myself. Oh, here it goes, here it goes. All right, more coming out. Get the pan under it. Yep, we're only spilling most of it, that's all. So I'm having to do this one-handed so I can kind of get you in the picture here, and I do apologize for the, whoop, I think we're loose. Oh, there it is. Oh man, is there a quart of fluid in that filter? My goodness. There we go. So that's what all that looks like, and there's a little seal right here. Ooh, look at that. See that seal? It just pops it off of there. It was right here. Now I'm gonna look for a new seal on the new one. Make sure I put that back in place. Everything looks pretty healthy in here. The old pink fluid, you know, like I said, it's pretty pink yet. Transmission's still functioning fine. So let's go inside and show you what my findings are on the things I took out. All right, we got the pan sitting here. Turns out this isn't a reusable gasket, so I'm glad I didn't go that route. Bad news is the gasket I got, yep, 14 hole, but it's a completely different shape. I got sold the wrong thing, so ignore the part number at the beginning of the video. Now, I'm pretty positive I'll bring the other filter, and I'm pretty positive the filter is the same. I just got a wrong gasket. Now, all these bolts were finger tight, except maybe 2 on the whole pan. And that's primarily due to this has a cork gasket on it. And cork gaskets had their places in the 1950s. So whoever did this oil change didn't spring for the, golly, that's just crumbling. The right gasket. The reusable, because it says OEM style reusable gasket. So we're going to go ahead and scrape this off with my gasket scraper, and then we're going to clean this pan up. Lucky for me, the Napa store is only about 7 miles away from me, so I can get right back out there. At least it's coming off pretty good. If you don't have a gasket scraper, I mean, they actually work a little better than a putty knife does. But I use mine more often than I care to say. The part I don't like is my vehicle's now outside without a transmission pan on it. With my luck, the mouse is going to crawl up in there and chew my transmission wires in. Little known fact, I'm almost convinced of it, that most all Jeep components are made out of recycled dog food. Why do the mice eat it so much? That's the only thing I can think of. The magnet's got stuff on it, but you know, for the age of this Jeep, that's actually not bad. Yeah. Let's go ahead and finish cleaning this pan up. All right, I noticed this pan had a little whammo dent in the bottom here where this kind of dented in. I'm not sure what happened. Must have been when I was rock crawling, had 15,000 feet in Colorado. Nope. So I'm gonna use my whammo straightener. Hear that? Went boing, 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 boing. There, it's returned back to its normal home now. And now the little bump that's there holds a magnet in place. Another little dent right there. That's okay, it's little. Now, if you guys are curious how to get your magnet super clean, because this is how dirty it was, is take a rag or paper towel and wipe off as much of the heavy stuff as you can. And then you can hose it down with brake cleaner. This hand here looked as dirty as this hand, but you can hose it down with brake cleaner, get all the grease and grime and slime off of it. And then to get the fine little bits of metal off of it, just take your air hose then and you can blast all the air. The air will overpower the magnet and blast it free. And then we got ourselves look brand new rebuilt magnet. Well, lo and behold, I got sold the wrong filter kit, which had the wrong basically had the wrong gasket. The filter's the same, but the gasket was not. So I had to go with the second best thing, was this rubber. It's a rubbery, probably not reusable, I would say, but it's better than cork. Now, one thing with these rubber gaskets, which is nice, is the holes are just a little bit smaller. And what I like to do is you can go ahead and get the bolts started through the rubber. So when you get ready to put it out there in the car, you're not wrestling around dropping bolts everywhere. Now, one thing they did tell me while I went back there this morning and said, hey, you know, that one didn't fit. What's the deal? And he says, well, for this, since it's a 2000, they offered multiple transmissions. And lo and behold, my guy there, he said he's pretty much a Mopar guy, so I'm looking for answers from you guys too. So don't be afraid to leave your comments. He said this transmission with this shape pan is the lightest duty transmission for this particular vehicle. And I don't know all the numbers of the transmission, but you can see by the shape of this pan. The guys that know. Tell me what your thoughts are on this transmission. Now, this transmission's only lasted 211,000 miles. It's never been rebuilt to my knowledge. And just going through the history of the previous owners and whatnot. Now, I'm not short two bolts here. I actually, since it was the wrong gasket and it was a 0 dark 30 last night and there were storms coming in and this thing's sitting outside, I just took 2 bolts and put the pan back in for overnight. I'm trying to get this done between thunderstorms today. It's currently not raining, but it's cloudy and it is so humid. So I'm gonna go out there and put this back on and we'll fill her up. Alrighty, we're back out here. We're on top. We've got the transmission pan in there and tightened up. Now guys, when you're tightening up that transmission pan, don't do any ugga-duggas on there. Just give it to a nice little, you'll get the feel for it, a nice little squeezing on the gasket. Don't over tighten it. You'll bend your pan and you'll wish you didn't. Now, what I've got here is some ATF +4 automatic transmission fluid. Says it's good for, recommended for Chrysler, Dodge, and Jeep vehicles requiring all these other ATFers. So yeah, so we're gonna put this additive in here. Why can't they make this stuff smell like cherries? It just smells bad. I got this long neck funnel filling up my friend. So the long neck funnels are kind of nice because I can about get a whole quart just in the old long neck. Because once it gets down in there, it's going to start going gabloop, gabloop, gabloop. I don't know why they haven't designed, because they don't want you to. They put these transmissions, oh, they're lifetime transmissions. Bull crap. No such thing as a lifetime transmission. Anybody tells you it is, they're lying, because you know why? They're not buying your next transmission. Nope, they're not buying it. If there is one out there, I'm not apologizing for what I just said. No way. It's just one of those things. Because after we get done, I'm putting in 5 quarters. I'll probably put in 4 and see how it comes up, because I saw the dipstick. It goes down just inside the pan just a little bit. And to me, that looked like a 4, 4.5, 5 quart pan. The good news is, if I put 4.5 quarts in here, I know it's not going to start up dry. But I'm not going to start it up until I replace my spark plugs while everything's nice and cold. We'll do the spark plugs next, and then we'll check in on this transmission situation. Boy, if that sun comes out, it's going to be hot mercy. It's only like 80 degrees out, but the humidity is 85. I swear it is 85% humidity out here right now. I just stand out here and sweat just starts going off my forehead, neck. Forehead, neck? All right. We're going to put another half in here. Once I determine how much I put in here, I actually take a paint pen and I write it down under here on the hood, transmission mileage, how many quarts. So next time I don't have to even guess, I'll know. All right, we'll pull the funnel out. We'll go after them spark plugs real quick. Now I'm gonna go after the spark plug change-a-rooney. And this has, it looks to me, it has these hoses that are kind of in the way, but they pop up and out of your way. You can move them up a little bit, but there is 1, 2, 3, 4, looks like 13 millimeter bolts heads. Maybe they're 14, 15, but maybe 13. You back those 4 out, and this whole ignition pack would appear lifts out with it. Where is it connected? Where does it get its information from? I got to be careful on that, because these should lift off of there, and I should gain access to my spark plugs from there. Yep. Let's get something on a hold of that and see what I can do. 13 millimeter strikes again. So 13 millimeter for the transmission pan. Oh, that's snug. And 13 millimeter for the ignition. Well, by golly, I think you can rebuild a whole Jeep with a 13 millimeter socket. Long-winded bolts. We'll just lay them right here in the old battery box here. Better yet, I'll put them up here on the old cowling so I ain't reaching across them. So far, this seems pretty easy. First time I've changed the spark plugs on this particular vehicle. And here again, the only reason it's running just fine, but the only reason I'm changing them is because that O2 sensor went out, and I am Not worried that I fouled any spark plugs, but they've been in there since I got it, which hasn't been 50,000 miles even. But let's just give it its best shot. Let's see, how does this come off of here? How do I do this right? Oh, just lifts right off. There we go. Well, that came off nice and easy. How is it hooked to the car? Oh, at the very back there's a plug. So I'm just trying to get this thing slid down and out of the way a little bit. The harness will let me do it. Oh, dipstick's in the way. I think I can work around that. Let me go get my spark plug wrench and we'll start backing those out. Now what you like to see is that cardboard be on here, because that protects that tip from getting bangeranged around. You be the judge. How do you think that's burning? That's number 1 front cylinder? I guess that's number 1, I don't know. Looks pretty good. Not as fouled or anything as I thought it would be. So I have a feeling everything else I'm gonna find is gonna be quite acceptable. Now you guys might be asking yourself, how do you know what gap the spark plug's at? What do you gap them at? Well, some of these other vehicles out here have it right up here on the hood or sometimes down on the fan shroud. This one shows the spark plugs to use, and it also shows the 35 thousandths gap. That's all I need to know to keep moving forward. Now, 2 more things I like to do here, and I'll show you. I put a little dielectric grease on here before I put it in my spark plug wrench. Helps that rubber boot release it. Also leaves plenty of residue on the spark plug, so when you put your spark plug cap or wires or ignition thingamabobber back on, it helps it come free and not seize up. Then I put Never Seize, just a little brush on, Never Seize around the thread. And here, this one has a washer on it, so we're gonna go down to that washer. We'll tighten it up and we'll feel that washer crush a little bit, and then we're done. We'll get, that's tight. I always hand start everything. It should spin in there all the way till it stops. Let's see what we do here, just to kind of get an idea. The washer is touching now. I felt it crush. About a half a total turn to crush it, and then another 1/8 of a turn, and I'm calling that tight. Plenty tight. Use your own judgment. Now I'm going to go ahead and get after the rest of them. Get this done so I can start it up. Check my transmission fluid. Then I bought some oil. We're going to change the oil in it today. This bad boy is getting pampered today. Pampered. You can see it's pretty sooty up around here, but since I started it up and drove it to work, it has burned a lot of that soot off. That's a good sign. Spark plug number 2. Check the gap. I always check the gap on every one of them, because you never know what happened at the factory. Did somebody have a bad day and drop it and the gap isn't quite right? And here you are, you're relying on a good gapped spark plug, and you don't have one. You go through the painstaking process of putting new plugs. Oops, wrong spark plug thing here. New spark plugs in, and all of a sudden it doesn't run the same. Runs worse. Should never run worse. Okay, washer touched right there. Let's just go. Let's see what it is again. Half a turn got pretty tight. About another 1/4 to 3/8 of a turn, and we got her seated. See, I can see that silicone on top of them spark plugs, which is nice, because when I go to put this back on, it's just going to snip right back in there. Not going to bore you with the rest of them. All right, we got all the spark plugs back in, and we've got the ignition. I don't know what you call this thing. You guys know what that's called? I haven't looked it up. But now we're going to fire it up. We're going to do 2 things. We're going to let it run for 1 to 3 minutes, warm up that oil before I drain it and change it. The other thing I'm going to do then is I can check my transmission fluid, because it says at an idle in neutral. It should be full cold, full hot. It says it all right on the dipstick. Makes life real easy for you. Well, let's see how she sparks up now with the new pluggy plugs. Real good, real good. Yeah, it's showing full hot right now when it's not hot. We'll just leave it right there for a little bit. Might have added a half a quart too much, maybe not. But it definitely ain't as full as it was. I mean, it's fuller. It was overfilled, I believe, originally, from what I could see. So while we're waiting for it to warm up so we can change the oil, we'll go ahead and clean up all of our trash. Check for it. It's starting to sprinkle on me a little bit right now. As you guys know, cameras and electronics do not blend well with water. I can put all my stuff away. Tell you what, it seems like since I put the O2 sensors in, which was bad, obviously, it's running better than it has in a while. Now that the oil is up to temp, we let it run there for about 3 minutes, and now it should scald me pretty well when I pull the plug, so we're going to do that now. Now, I'm getting ready to drain the oil. Ow, that pipe is hot. Don't let nobody fool you that it isn't. That's probably going to come out and hit me right in the face. Oh, what's the best way to do this? Oh, keep my arm. There we go. It's coming out. Fix this. Let that drain for a little bit. Now, if you don't have one of these type of oil cans, oil pans that has a, you know, it captures its own container, so you can actually put a cap on it and everything and just take it to the recycling place and recycle on it. We'll let that drain, we'll put the plug back in, and we'll top her off. I didn't spill a drop. 6 quarts installed. All right, we got all the fluids topped off. Let's go ahead and put some fire back in it and see how she runs with fresh oil. Alrighty, this engine's running about 55 pounds in oil pressure at an idle. Love it. Still doing Jeep things. Alright, hope you hang around for the bonus footage from here. All I've got left to do to this thing is a little prettying job I want to do on it. Well, folks, I hope you found this informative and helpful. We got the Jeep back on the road again. I got one little wiring thing to fix for my anti-lock brakes where the mice chewed right through it. And transmission fluids changed, oil's changed, O2 sensors are up to date, spark plugs are changed. We should be good for the summer. We should be able to get the boat to the water a few times with it and enjoy some lake time. Guys, hang around for the bonus footage here. I'm going to do a little headlight polishing. I'm going to show you how I do it. If you don't hang around, that's fine. You've stuck with me long enough. I appreciate it. But don't be afraid to hang around to learn a little something more. Because I've seen there's so many headlight polishing videos out there that I didn't want to make this a standalone video. But I'm going to show you how to take this old Jeep fogged up headlights and make them look like brand new again. And do it in a manner that it lasts a while. Show you how. Oh, yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. All the links to items in this video will be in the description down below. Oh my gosh, that sun's coming out from behind the clouds. I am gonna melt for sure. Okay. I'm gonna show you a headlight restoration kit that I recommend. It's made by 3M. I'm not sponsored by them, but I've used it a couple times, and of all the restoration kits I've been playing around with and using, oh my goodness, go back under the clouds. It will. We're gonna bring these headlights back around. Take a look at these things. They are bug splattered, and they are dirty, and they're just plain old oxidized. So what I'm gonna do while this thing is up in my teeth nice and high, I get my stool out here and I can sit here and work on them. Now this particular 3M kit, let's just dump it all out here. It comes with masking tape. And you guys may not think masking tape's important, but it's nice if you don't have to supply that stuff yourself. The cool part about it, having masking tape with it, is you can just go right up here and just start protecting your shiny stuff and your painted stuff. Makes it real easy for you. Now I'm gonna go ahead and pop this hood back up when I go after it. But yeah, we can, like, Michael, what are you worried about? You got a big old whammo here. Yeah, I had a tree fall on it. That happens when you're out goofing around. I tried to push a tree over that was dead and make it get to the ground so I could handle it. Come right back on me. It's okay. They do give you a lot of tape on this little roll. Once you got it masked off like that, then you can read the instructions or listen to me. Your choice. I don't care. You've got a arbor here with like a Velcro-like substance here that you can put on your drill, which makes this really nice. And you want to run your drill on very low. And this comes with Headlight Clear Coat. That's the kind of kit you want to get, Headlight Clear Coat in it, because just sanding it and buffing it ain't enough. You got to put the protection back on the plastic to protect it from UV. Now here we got some 500 grit. Let's see, there's some 600 grit. So we got two 500s, a 600, another 500, another 600, an 800, another 500. Lots of 500s, and a glove if you need a glove. And then this is, what is this? This 2800 grit. Woo, super fine. There's an 800 grit, looks like. Yep, two 800s and 800. No, wait a minute, maybe it's just 800. Is there? It just goes down to 800 grit. And then this is 3,000. That's 3K, 3,000 grit. That's all you need. Now the one thing I will share with you is I like to use a spray bottle with water on it, in it. It helps keep this from plugging up, and I ain't kidding you. All you need is a couple of patches, and you can actually do more than one headlight. Or more than one vehicle, I should say. Let's go get the old DeWalt drill and let's get after it. It may rain on me out here, but during this step, that's okay. I'll just have to stop because my camera can't handle it. Now I've got some special headlight sanding water in here. It's called Crazedanium Liquid H2 It's better than H2O. It's just tap water. Come on, guys. Don't be so gullible. So we're kind of wet her down here. And don't be afraid to polish this area too. It's smooth on the outside. It's oxidized. But you'll see that start to lift right away. Look at that. That's headlight plastic and oxidation just going away. Make sure you don't spin this too fast. I got my drill on low, and don't cover it up back here on your drill because it's got to breathe. It'll overheat, start ruining your stuff. You don't want to ruin your stuff. You can see how much better that's already looking. At least it's a uniform finish. Let's see, by using this thing will sit there and cut and cut and cut without loading up, as long as you keep the water on it. And me, I like to work it up and down, back and forth, nice even strokes. Have you guys heard that new song by Walker Hayes, Fancy Like? That's one of my new favorite songs. I didn't realize, I just looked at it the other day. It's been out for a little while. I looked at YouTube, at the video. It was like a year ago. How long does it take stuff to get from Nashville to Iowa? Anyway, it's called Fancy Like. Starts off, my baby's banging. She's, there's other words. My baby's banging. She's low maintenance. And it's funny because it fits our life pretty good. We're happy with Wendy's and a Frosty and dipping fries in it, and you know. But then every now and then, when I get paid, we get Fancy Like, more like Texas Roadhouse. Anyway, that's by Walker Hayes. I kind of like, he seems like kind of a good guy. Comment down below if you've met Walker Hayes in person, because I have not. And I might go my whole lifetime without meeting him, just like thousands of other people. Well, let's call it about 7 billion other people in the world. Now I'm leaving this pretty much in real time so you guys can see. I am not pretty much, this is going to be real time except for where I say something stupid and I have to cut it out. But I want you guys to see what it takes to get there. We're removing a lot of oxidation here. A lot. But that's looking pretty good. You know, right there, you did nothing else. It looks better than that yellow headlight that was there before. And the other thing, when you got this oxidation on here, it really limits the amount of light that can come through it. I did a set on my dad's headlights, and well, that just feels better. Just touch it. It's all smooth. But he could run with his high beams on at night. 2-lane streets in town. Nobody flashed him their high beams at him. It's like, turn it down. Well, I polished his headlights. The exact same kit I'm using here. And lo and behold, we took it out for a test drive at night. 9 out of 10 cars said, blink, blink, lower your beams, it's too bright. He said, that's never happened before. Not to mention, he goes, man, I can see. So, this makes a difference. I'll leave a link in the description where you can buy these kits. There'll probably be a link to Amazon. Don't be afraid to use the link. It doesn't do anything different than if you went to Amazon straight up yourself. It doesn't cost you anything more, nothing. All it does is let me have a little bit of commission for the items that you buy, so I can afford to keep doing videos, because microphones break, cameras break. I want to keep improving the quality of the videos I'm bringing you, and helps me pay for that stuff instead of coming out of my back pocket. And the reason I do these videos, people might go, why are you doing another headlight video? Well, this might be the one that pops up on a feed that somebody does, and they get to learn something. And that's what I'm all about here. I know I like to do outboards, and I try to focus on a lot of outboard stuff, but if it's something that I can do to help other people learn something that they don't already know, that's why I do it. Well, this looks pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and rip this one off and put the other grit on there. So that was the 500 grit. because we'll use this on the other side. What's next? Oh, that's a 500. Looks like we'll jump to 600. There again, keeping it wet. We'll go 600. These scratches are going to get a lot finer. Well, my battery's about to go. We're looking at the clouds up above. Oh, I got stuff all over my phone. Move that over there. Clouds are coming in. We may have to halt and come back out and do this after the rain passes. Now what we're doing here is we're using the 600 grit pad to get rid of the 500 grit scratches. Then we use the 800 grit pad to get rid of the 600 grit scratches. And then we use the 3000 grit pad to get rid of the 800 grit scratches. That's how that works. Once you feel confident that you did everything you needed to do with the 600 grit, now if you put a hole in here, you might have went too far. Looking pretty uniform. Let's go ahead and peel this one off. Set it aside for the next round. Let's get to our 800 grit. That's more 600. Let's see, there's the 800. And if you wonder what side to put down, it's the side that sticks to this. There's only one side that'll stick. Now we got 800 grit. You're gonna start seeing this thing come around a little bit now. 800 grit, things start clearing up. Coming around. Let's get rid of the rest of them 600 grit scratches. It's looking pretty good. Let's go with the super fine 3000 grit. I'm gonna use this one wet too. Now 3000 grit's not gonna remove a lot of material, but it will bring a shine back. Now we're trying to just get rid of them 800 grit scratches. You can already see that's coming around really shiny. I want to take one more pass at it. I'm not seeing any of my 800 grit scratches in there any longer. All right, now I'm going to share a little secret with you. You get this little headlight clear coat. Extreme UV protection prevents lens from yellowing. Easy to use wipe-on clear coat. Up to 10 times more clarity and 4 times longer lasting. So this will dry out, but I got a Ziploc bag that I will take and put it in. And there's enough here, because it'll tell you right on here. Start with a clean, dry surface, boom. Sanded with 3000, bam. Do not unfold the wipe. Optional. Put on the disposable glove. Open white packet carefully, slowly apply coating using crisp edge of folded wipe. Slightly overlap passes. Apply one coat to both headlights. Let dry for 5 to 15 minutes, dry to touch. Once dry, open second package. If you use a Ziploc bag, you don't have to open that second package. I'm telling you this. You can get 4 headlights for the price of 2. Once dry, open second pack, repeat process. Allow 1 hour to dry before driving or exposing to precipitation. Precipitation can be a challenge for me today, but we're going to go for it anyway. So now we're not going to unfold it. We just got it like this, and then we're just going to wipe it. And overlapping wipes. And look at that. Like brand new. Just do nice even coats. Don't scrub it like you're trying to clean your feet. Just nice even wipes. That applies the clear coat. And I ain't kidding you, that looks brand new. Matter of fact, I'm not so sure it came out of the factory this nice. Now we're going to let that just dry. Now we're going to put this in the Ziploc bag so it don't dry out. This is before. Why are you shaking your head? Boss is shaking her head. She says it's unreal. Now we'll come right in here on this. Look at that shine. You know, you couldn't have got that done with 10 ShamWows. I'll guarantee you that. There's the other side done. Pa-pow! Pa-pow!